Bando here with another reminder. And today we do have the LUX Flight Controller again, and we are going to be putting it on the Qav-ULX. So, as you open it up, I already did an unboxing video on the LUX Flight Controller, so go ahead and make yourself a favor and go check that out. But you got your flight controller, and you get your parts, and you get some foam, or whatever this stuff is. So let's just put that to the side. We need the actual flight controller. So if you open it up, you got your LUX Flight Controller. Now, this is not a review or anything, but I really love the flight controller. I had it for a while. Works great. Some people have problems, but I don't, so it's just a thing. So right now, today, we are going to be putting solder on the pads we need. And those pads are 1 ground, 3 ground, 2 ground, and 4 ground. And then you also need the RX, 5 volts, and ground. And then the next thing you need is, where is it? Here, right here. You need the bat. You need to put solder on the bat and the ground, these two. That's what's going to be powering it. And then we're going to be soldering the SRX. The SRX pad to the middle pad and the 5 volt to the middle pad. So that will enable us to power up our X4R. And that will be in a different episode. But right now, I'm going to see you guys outside. So we're going to put solder on the solder pad. So yeah, see you guys outside. Alrighty, so I'm outside right now. And I flipped it over because we need to bridge the pads, the 5 volt in the middle pad and the SRX in the middle pad. So to do that, just a little dot of solder, very little, and put it in the middle. So put a dot and bridge it, just like how I did that. So you want to bridge the middle pad on the 5 volt and then the SRX in the middle one. There you go. Done, done, done. So it should look something like that. So you bridge the SRX in the middle and the 5 volt in the middle. I'm going to take my brush with some alcohol. Just scrubby, scrubby, scrubby. Get some of that bad flux. So the next thing you want to do is put some solder on the 1 and the ground and the 3 and the ground and the 2 and 4. So I'm just going to show you how to do the first one. So just put some solder again and add solder just like so. Put some solder on that pad just like so. So now, as you can see, it's nice. Just solder on that pad. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be soldering the wires onto that, and that has to be perfect. But you just want to prep it, put some solder, and yeah, I'll see you guys back inside when you get to trim the wires. Alright, so I'm back inside. Just got some solder on my LUX, so I have it on the bat and the ground and the SRX and the 5 volt and the ground, the 2, the RX, the 5 volt, the ground, the 4 ground, 3 ground, and 1 ground. So you got to get your 22 gauge wire. Got this from PV, and strip the wire and twist it. And this will go right here, or the plus right here. So you need to solder this thing right there. That way you can use power the LUX Flight Controller. So right now I'm going to be soldering the wire on, and all this will be outside, and soldering the wire on and then trimming it and then putting it on the LUX Flight Controller. So yeah, I'll see you guys outside again. Alrighty, so I'm back outside. And now it is time to solder these wires on. And we need to put solder on the wires. So get an alligator clip and another alligator clip like so. And then put water, soak them with some solder. Soak them with some soda. That should be a total good song. All right, now you can put this away and replace it with the PDB, like so. And then remove the servo wires. You don't need that. And put some more solder on these pads. Auxiliary 1. So we used auxiliary 2 for what is it called? We used auxiliary 2 for the LEDs, and now we're using auxiliary 1 for powering up the, what is it called? LUX Flight Controller. So just put some solder on and then solder the 2 wires in place like so. Easy, easy, simple peasy. That's not how it goes. Whatever. But it should look somehow like this. Now would be a great time to use your toothbrush covered with that alcohol, that rubbing alcohol, not like alcohol. Anyways, I'm not even allowed to have alcohol at this age. Just like so. Make sure it's the positive is with the red and the negative is with the black. And then you can take your LUX back and just fit it. So that's good. Let's see if that is good enough for me. And take a deep breath and snip. God, always take that deep breath, because snipping wires, there's no way going back. If you can't, it's impossible to unsnip a wire. That made no sense. But it is impossible to unsnip a wire. And then twist and strip and twist. Gotta twist it so there's no air bubbles, because that will be air into the solder. And then you want to twist these and then just fold it back, something like that. So you got your solder, clean the tip, put that solder on, and let that wire get soaked with some solder, and then lean it just like so. And you can just use one hand, pretty easy. And the red wire will go to the battery. So just like so. Let it dry, hold it in that position, release, and then it should look somehow like that. It's like that, so it's all nice and connected together. And now you want to do that for the black side, and then you want to flip it over. Actually, I'll show you what you need to do back inside. So just solder that black wire to the ground, and then you should be good to go. Alrighty, so I got my 2 leads in place. I already plugged it in. Make sure it just powers on. The lights flash, everything is good. Make sure the bat will connect to the positive or the red wire, and the ground will connect to the negative or black wire. And then now you can flip it over just like so. But before we do so, we gotta put the rubber O-rings on. So the reason why you actually have to put the O-rings on is because the gyros, as I said earlier, these gyros are very sensitive. So if you don't have these gyros, you're gonna have a lot of vibrations to the board, and because the board is so sensitive, it'll pick up pretty much anything, and then it'll get so many oscillations because of all that vibration that's created from your motors and ESCs. So make sure you put these O-rings on. Very, very important. And as you can see, I'm not putting any Loctite on because it is nylon, and nylon won't do any good for Loctite. And just screw it on. You don't need to go all the way. You screw it in a little, and yeah, it should be good. Make sure there's no gap between. I mean, there is a gap, but there's no like any connections. Nothing's touching, as you can see. Everything is like separated from each other, and looks pretty good. And I'm just gonna test the fitting, or test if anything is touching by plugging it in. And yep, everything is good. So there's nothing's touching each other. So now that that's good, we need to now solder on our ESCs. So this motor is motor 1, I guess, and this will be plugging in here, and then this motor will be plugging in here, and this one motor will be plugging in here. Now make sure this arrow right here, let me bring this closer. There's an arrow right there. That arrow needs to be facing forward where the quad is facing. So go forward like that. So let's just start with motor 1 right here. Take your fitting, okay, and then leave a little gap, and then take a deep breath and snip. All right, the stress is all over now. No, that's a bit too much or too little. Just enough. That should be fine. So you can strip the motor or the servo wires like so. Now these wires are very thin, so you can use them. You can use your fingers to strip the wires, just like so. And then you can test the fitting, make sure it fits, so it'll look like that. And yeah, that's it for the fitting. So make sure you do that for all your ESCs, and then I'll see you guys back outside where we get to solder them on. So yeah, I'll see you guys outside. Alrighty, so we're back outside. Got our soldering iron nice and hot. Beautiful. So as I said before, we will be soldering these leads onto the LUX Flight Controller, the LUXy from Lumineer. And obviously the first step is to put the solder on the wires. I'll make it nice and quick because it is a very, very thin wire, and you do not want to burn the wire up, because that is not good. So just put solder on all of these ESCs, and then I'll see you guys after I put solder on all the wires, and then we'll actually solder them to the board itself. Alrighty, so I got all the ESCs, or all the wires soldered, or got solder on them. And now is a moment of truth where we get to solder the motors onto the ESC. So let's put a little solder, and then you gotta dab it out. Put a little solder, and then do a little tap dance, and solder them on like so. So again, you want to do that for both ESCs. So the ground, just like so, and the servo wire, the signal, just like so. So you want to do that for all your ESCs. I'll see you guys back down the side. We're going to be fitting and cutting the wire for actually I'll do it outside right now. So just want to do that for all of them, and then I'll see you guys after I soldered all the ESCs together, and then I'll teach you how to put the servo cable for our S bus on the quad itself. Alrighty, so I got all the ESCs soldered on, so just make sure the numbers are connected to the yellow wire, or the signal wire, and then the G's are connected to the ground wires. ground wire. So just make sure you double check everything is good, and then now we can start soldering these wires in. These are 22 gauge wires. I got it from Get FPV. Wonderful, guys. Go check them out. And then what you want to do is solder these wires onto the board itself. So you want to strip the wire. Now these are for this is actually for our S bus. So you need these to get connected to the receiver, and the receiver will be next video. So make sure you subscribe so you can see that video. That's where we're going to be connecting everything to the our receiver, and then we're going to actually be binding it to the Tyrannus and do all that awesome things. Okay, well, I can't fit my helping hands on because it's too big. So another thing you can do is do this. Watch and learn, my friends. So get a little solder. This is pretty tricky. Let's get a little solder on, and then just go like that, and there you go. Quick, easy way to get solder on your wires without physically using a pair of helping hands. And then you want to do that for the other wire. And then yeah, I'll see you guys once I'm done preparing all the other stuff. Alrighty, so we got all the wires, got solder on them, and now we are going to be soldering it onto the Qav-ULX. So the first one will be the receiver wire, which is the white wire, or the signal cable, whatever you want to call it. And just like always, a little dot, just like so. And then you want to get your red wire, your 5 volt, and then a little dab. Just dab it out. Oh, okay. Don't screw up. Just like that. And then get your black wire and dab it out on the ground. So dab it out. Just like so. So yeah, I'll see you guys back inside when we're going to be just doing the outro of this video. So yeah, I'll see you guys back inside. Alrighty, so there you go, guys. That's it for today's episode. If you like this episode, make sure you smash that like button. If you have any questions or comments or need any help on the build, make sure you leave it in the description below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode. We went over how to basically set up the LUX Flight Controller, and then soldered the ESCs on, and all the ESCs work, nothing fried, good to go. And yeah, make sure you subscribe so then you could see the next video, which will be on the X4R from FR Sky. So we're going to be setting that up, and yeah, I can't wait to do that. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm watching the video you guys just watched, but I'm editing it. See? I'm editing it. I'm not doing any cheap stuff. Ta-da! See? I'm actually editing my videos. So don't be like, hey Vando, you're such a bad editor. You don't even edit your videos. I actually try hard my videos, so I wouldn't be talking if I were you. Anyways, let's take a break from editing and just go like, dang, look at those quads. Sod it, and then watch me curry, and then watch me you. Hello, Light. How's your life? Anyway, guys, how do you guys like that video? I think it was pretty dope. Really worked so hard on that video right there. So yeah, you guys better like it. You better like it. Peace.